So the Nick Sirianni era begins, and it begins with a press conference. And in this press conference, he said some things that I was very impressed with. He said some things that I had a lot of questions about. And he said something at the end that flat out scares the hell out of me.
Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes.
I'm a grown-ass man. I'm a grown-ass man. Grown-ass man.
Hey everybody, King Dingbat here. I'm in my garage with a cigar. It's only a candy cigar because my wife won't let me smoke one after I put that big fat head up in our bedroom.
Let's get rid of Dak. At this point, I'd be happy for Dak to be playing for somebody else. And my team stinks. I agree. Stinks.
They laugh about us. We're a disgrace. We suck.
I am now Philly 500's bitch.
Dallas still stinks. You're by the way, King Dingbat here, and I hope everybody's having a great Friday. I hope you guys are doing well. So Nick Sirianni finally had his press conference, first press conference where we got to see him talk, got to hear questions from the media. I've been waiting for this for like a week and a half, and I got to tell you, for being a virtual press conference, I thought it was pretty interesting. I thought there was a lot of things said, and there were a lot of things kind of went under the radar that were talking about deeper things than were, just what seemed to be on the surface, right? The press conference started with Jeffrey Lurie, and Jeffrey Lurie spoke for a while. He was talking about how they had 25 candidates, then to 10, how he's impressed with all these guys, and he was talking about different characteristics that he wants in a coach. And one of the things he said, and when he said it, I don't know if it was the way he said it, but when Jeffrey Lurie started talking about, having a coach that can develop players and is really good at developing players and really good at kind of sticking with guys through hard times and working, their way through that kind of stuff, not just when things are good. I thought that was very, very telling. Just the impression I got was that was kind of a dig at Doug Peterson. It was kind of like telling us one of his problems or issues with Doug Peterson may have been player development, which we all, as Eagle fans, have all had questions about Doug and his ability to develop some of these players, which would make sense because Howie Roseman's the guy picking them, and he's probably going to the owner, hey, yo, Jeffrey Lurie, I'm picking the right guys, but they're not developing them. So I thought that was kind of a shot at Doug. And then when Nick Sirianni came, my sense with him is this. My first impression of Nick Sirianni, when he gets up there and starts speaking, I'm thinking, we hired Sports Talk with Broads. The guy looks like Sports Talk with Broads, or maybe a combination of if Sports Talk with Broads and, I don't know, what's the guy's name? Jeff Mosher. If Sports Talk with Bros and Jeff Mosher had a baby, it would be Nick Sirianni. That was my impressions of just how he looked. And then, hearing him talk, he obviously was a little bit nervous and things like that, which I get. It's a big day for him, right? But the one thing I can tell you right off the bat, this dude has a lot of information in his head. He has a lot of information. He knows his shit. He sounds like a guy that knows his shit. He reminded me of an old Married with Children episode, right? Where Kelly Bundy, where they decide to fill her head with just useless information, right? Because there's nothing in it. So they fill her head with useless information, and her head's so full that every time she learns something else, she forgets something. Not that this guy is an airhead or anything like that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying his head is full of information. You can tell he knows his shit when it comes to football and coaching, and I'm sure X's and O's. He seemed like he's a wealth of knowledge, and I can't wait to see. And the challenge for him is going to be taking all that knowledge and putting it onto the field. That's what we have to wait and see if this guy can do. But he knows his shit. No question about it, And I was looking, during the press conference, I was looking to see if he was wearing a pinky ring. Okay, I was looking to see if he's wearing. Does this guy wear a pinky ring? Because let me tell you something. An Italian that wears a pinky ring will never put up with Howie Roseman shit. Never. He will double moonwalk that ass so quick. But I don't think he's wearing a pinky ring, especially what came at the very end that we're going to get into in a minute. But overall, he seems like a very smart guy. I'm impressed with him. I'm excited about him. I like the things he said for the most part. When it came to the Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts thing, he was a lot more vague. He didn't want to commit to anything. He didn't commit to either starter, which I wouldn't expect him to. He didn't commit to not trading Carson Wentz, which is what I would expect him to do. You're not going to hear him say anything about any of those things. He said he talked to Carson, he's talked to Jalen Hurts, and he talked about having two great quarterbacks. What I'm guessing is that this team is going to have open competition between these two guys next year. I just think that he will. So all those kind of things, is kind of what I expected to hear. The one thing, and my biggest issue with this conference was at the very end, okay? Was at the very end when they were asking him about control, right? And he was saying, how he's going to be doing the draft and free agency. He runs all those things. Plus, Howie Roseman he has final say on the 53-man roster. What? At that point, I said, this dude's not wearing a pinky ring. He's not an Italian with a pinky ring. Because no pinky ring Italian would ever allow that to happen. None that I know. I know a lot of them. None of them would put up with that. How can the GM have final say on the 53-man roster? I think that's ridiculous. That was the one thing at the end of this whole thing that I was like, wait, what? And then the press conference ended. And I'm like, wait a second, wait, we need, bring him back. We need more questions. He's like, I have final say over the 48, so basically who dresses on Sunday. But Howie has say over the final 53. I think that is a bad idea. Because, look, when you go into preseason and you go into training camp and these guys are fighting for roster spots, Howie Roseman's not going to be looking at the tape going, this guy deserves it over this guy. This guy is better than this guy. He's going to be looking at the finances, the money. He's going to be looking at all of those things. What will we get a compensatory pick if we cut this guy now? Will we save this kind of money? It's not going to be about who the best player is, who the best 53 men are. It's going to be about other things. So that was very disappointing. I got to tell you, that was the one thing I really didn't like about this whole thing. And look, and with this guy, the one question is going to be is how much control does Howie Roseman have? How much control is he going to continue to have? This is the problem that the Eagles have had for years. This continues to be what haunts us. I like the guy. I like this kid as a hire. He's young. He's 39 years old. Not really a kid. But he's got a wealth of knowledge. Like I said, his mind is full. You could tell. He has a brain full of football information. Just got to put it out on the field now. However, I just don't like that at the end. I just thought that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth at the end of the press conference. Howie Roseman has final say on the 53-man roster? What? Now, what I expect to happen is people will probably make a big deal of it, and then the Eagles will come out later and kind of say that wasn't a correct statement or something like that, and then or Howie will say something that's not true or whatever, and then people will be like, oh, no, that's not true. It is true. He said it is true. We know it's true. I have a problem with that. But all in all, I thought the guy came off very well, very smart, likable. He was a little nervous, but he seems like a nice guy. Seems like a good guy. We'll see what kind of coach he is. First-year head coach, you just don't know. You never know. I want to see what they do with Carson, with Jalen. A lot of things to figure out. But it was interesting. It was an interesting press conference because I got the sense out of hearing Nick Sirianni, hearing Jeffrey Lurie, kind of some of the reasons why they might have fired Doug Peterson, and then kind of left it open with the Carson Jalen, which is what I expected, and then out of nowhere came the whole 53-man roster that kind of threw me for a loop. Not gonna lie, he needs to put a pinky ring on, and he needs to get over to Howie's office and make sure he establishes power and control. That's what I want. But all in all, I like the guy. I'm happy about him. Excited to see what he's going to do. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. And don't be a dingbat.